Hi, my name is Logan Almy, and I'm the pastor of First Presbyterian Church here in Waynesboro, Georgia. And in this video, I want to answer a question that we as Presbyterians get from time to time, and that is, what is covenant theology? Presbyterians believe in covenant theology. We use the word covenant a lot, and people ask, what is that? Well, covenant theology is the recognition that in the Bible, God reveals himself to us and relates to us by way of something that is called a covenant. And a covenant is really a mutually binding agreement between two parties where there are promises of blessing if the conditions of the covenant are met, and there are threatenings of cursing if the covenant is broken. And in the Bible, there are many different kinds of covenants, sometimes covenants between people, but the covenant theology highlights the fact that God has established covenants with human beings. Now, in the overarching view of covenant theology, there are two major covenants. There's a covenant made with man before the fall, called a covenant of works, and there's a covenant made with man after the fall, called the covenant of grace. The covenant of works is the promise of life to Adam, Eve, and their descendants on the condition of Adam's obedience. If Adam were to obey, he would earn eternal life. If he were to disobey, he and all his descendants would earn eternal death. We know that Adam sinned. He ate of the forbidden fruit that God told him not to eat, and he and all his descendants sinned in him and died with him in the first transgression. And so the covenant of works is broken. That's why the world is not the way it's supposed to be. That's why there's sin and death in the world today. But after Adam and Eve sinned in the Garden of Eden, God made a promise of another covenant, a covenant of grace. He said that there would be an offspring of the woman who would bruise the head of the serpent and who would gain victory over Satan and restore the blessings of creation. And that promise of a covenant of grace is that through Jesus, righteousness is restored and creational blessings are regained. And that's a covenant of grace because Jesus has obeyed where the first Adam disobeyed, and Jesus has died to take upon the punishment that we incur through the broken covenant of works. And to us who by grace through faith believe in Jesus, we are included in the covenant of grace and given everlasting life. And so there's this twofold covenant. And in the Bible, the one covenant of grace is revealed over time. So you even see it in the covenant God makes with Noah, that God is preserving a seed from the line of Seth in order to restore the world. Then later God calls Abraham and makes a covenant with him. And we're told that in his offspring all nations will be blessed. And then later we're told that it will be a king from the line of David. And then later we're told about a new covenant where God will write the law on people's hearts and forgive their sins and remember them no more. And so the whole Bible is one unfolding story of that one covenant of grace that was first promised in Genesis 3:15. Covenant theology is special because it helps us to understand the Bible as one story of salvation. It's special because it helps us to distinguish between law and gospel, works and grace. It's special because it helps us to understand how to read our Bibles not as an Old Testament and a New Testament, but this one story that culminates in Jesus Christ in whom we have salvation. Covenant theology has bearing on how we understand the Sabbath day, how we understand the sacraments, and so many other things in the Christian life. So it's very important to have a proper understanding of the covenants. If you have any questions about covenant theology or would like some resources, shoot me an email at fpcwaynesboro@gmail.com. I'd love to chat with you about the covenants. May God richly bless you as you seek to live in covenant with Him.